Hello and welcome you all again on this platform of KTHM e-learning. In the earlier lecture, we have discussed the meaning and types of proposals. After that, we have studied the meaning, types, drafting and preparing a formal report. We have also understand the structure and contents of a report. After that, we have discussed the meaning, features, objectives and guidelines of project report, and at the end we have studied the essential elements of good reports. In today's lecture we are going to study meaning and guidelines for drafting meeting reports. Next, we will study meaning, features, guidelines for drafting press reports. After that, we will study meaning, uses and drafting a office memo, that is memorandum. And last, we will discuss the meaning, occasions and drafting of office orders. Now, let us see the meaning of reporting for a meeting. Friends, a meeting report is used to provide information about the discussion that has transpired during a particular meeting. There are different kinds of formal reports for meeting that are used by various entities to track the items that they need to execute, remember and or implement. Now let us see the reports and minutes. Though both reports and minutes record the proceeding of the meeting, yet there are points of difference between the two, that is reports and minutes. So the first point is legal evidence. So, minutes are accepted as legal evidence in the court of laws as they record the official proceeding and decision of a meeting. Reports are generally not accepted as a legal evidence. Then, second, time of preparation. Minutes are prepared after the meeting within a reasonable time, but reports are prepared immediately after the meeting. Third is form of writing. Minutes that are essentially the records of decision of the meetings are generally not written in a narrative form, but reports are always drafted in a narrative form, giving all the discussion and arguments held in the meeting. Fourth is nature of the transaction recorded. The exact resolution past the meeting are to be the recorded in the minutes. The reports may contain the exact decision taken at the meeting. Next is number of evidences. For each meeting, a separate minute has to be prepared, whereas a report can be a summary of more than one meeting. Next is use of word resolved. The word resolved is the starting word while preparing minutes. The word resolved is not including in a report. Now let us see the guidelines for drafting meeting reports. So the first is name of the unit should be written in meeting report. Second guideline is report should specify the date, time and place at which the meeting was held. Next is report should be brief and free from ambiguity. Next is a brief reading should be given to each item of the report. The next guideline is the language of the report should be simple and easy to understand. Next is all the discussion relating to each item must be recorded. Then next guideline is a separate paragraph should be used for each matter of discussion. The next guideline for a drafting meeting report is report should be accurately worded to avoid the risk of subsequent misinterpretation. Next is report should have a good layout. Next is they should use agenda as the framework. Now let us see the meaning of organization of press report. So, press report is an official statement delivered to members of the news media for the purpose of providing information. An official statement or making an announcement. It is a correspondent representing newspaper or news agency covering an event on his own writes a report. It is prepared by a reporter. Press reports are written in a structure known as the inverted pyramid. In the inverted pyramid format, the most newsworthy information goes at the beginning of the story and the least newsworthy information goes at the end. So, a press report is a brief account of an event that has already taken place. It helps in recording events of importance that occurs in our day-to-day life and attempts to present the first-hand information of an incident or event. It includes one's ideas, opinions and impressions of the on the event. Now let us understand the features of press report. So first is fairness and balance. Friends, as a reporter, you must learn to get the other point of view. This may mean calling a person late at night to get his side of the story or even holding back an investigative story for a day. But you must do so. This is the best way to bring balance in the copy. Second feature is accuracy. This is the first requirement of the good news report. You must get all your fact right, starting from the name and designation of the subject to the statements made by him or her. You cannot hide behind the excuse that there was not enough time to cross check the facts. Next feature is attribution. All news reports, with a few exceptions, must sourced. The source can be identified as individual, organization, exceptions, timeliness. Next point is timeliness. So, journalists stress current information stories occurring today or yesterday, not several weeks ago, and try to report it ahead of their competitors. Next is impact. Reporters stress important information that has an impact on their audience, stories that affect, involve, or interest thousands of readers or viewers. Next feature of press report is proximity. The closer an event is to home, the more newsworthy it comes. For example, in Maharashtra and especially in Pune matters more than an earthquake in Pakistan. Then next is conflict or controversy. If somebody is struggling with a problem, it just might be news. Two people arguing about a social issue is more newsworthy than two people who agree about that issue. The tension between the subjects create the conflict that often makes a story dramatic and interesting to read. Next feature is brevity. The importance of these characteristics cannot be overstressed. You must learn to write short stories without missing important facts. Please remember that today's reader is in a hurry. He does not have the patience to go through long news reports. And last is clarity. This is not easy to achieve. You are required to report an event in as few words as possible. You can do this if you use short and simple words and keep out irrelevant facts. Now let us see guidelines for drafting press reports. So the first is mention the place, date, time and other relevant facts about the event. Second guideline for drafting a press report is include information collected from people around or affected by the event. Next is write the name of the reporter. Fourth is provide a suitable title or heading. Then write in past tense. Next is write in reported speech and use passive form of expression. Next guideline is develop ideas, causes, reasons, consequences, opinions logically. Then write in a less formal and more descriptive manner while writing a report for a school magazine. Next is present your ideas and impressions to make the report interesting. Now come to the next main point, office memo, that is called memorandums. So the meaning of office memo is the term memos has often been misunderstood as a part of disciplinary proceeding. For from it, the word at best means a note or record for future use. It is useful mode of informal communication. A memorandum, that means memorandums or memoranda in plural. A memorandum plays a convenient and flexible role while much of inter and intra office communication is being done over the phone. Memorandums are preferred when one needs to convey information in writing. A memorandums, known as a memo in short form, is by definition a written statement that you prepare specially for a person or committee in order to give them information about a particular matter. In an organization, it takes the form of a short official note that you write to a person or to several people, especially people who you work with. It has been derived from the Latin word memorare, changed to memorandus, and means literally to mention or tell. So, large companies need an efficient system by which colleagues can communicate with each other either in the same building or office or often in departments or sections suited in different locations. The telephone is no doubt an immediate method, but it is often necessary to have some written records of request, instruction, actions suggested or taken, etc. For this system of internal correspondence, memoranda or memorandums are used. Now let us see the uses of memo. So the purpose of memo may be to ask for information, to give information, to request decision or action, to convey information about action or decision which was verbally taken, to seek or give suggestions, to communicate policy changes, to issue instructions to the staff, and to request for help. Now, let us see drafting of memo. So, the first point is informative. A well written memo is informative and concise. It can be made informative by following the principle of any good writing, preparation and organization. Second is objective. Decide the exact objective, what is to do to be achieved by sending this memo. It should be possible to state the objective in a single sentence in memo. Consider the readers and decide whether you should include fundamental issues or define technical terms. Then third point of drafting is purpose. Organize the material to suit the purpose of the memo. The content can be organized by decreasing order of importance or by increasing order of importance. Next point of drafting is outline. So, making an outline with focus on the main ideas helps to organize thoughts. The outline can provide structure and proportion. Next is concise. A memo is always brief or concise. Make every effort to be plain, direct, and concise while using a comfortable, natural style. Although memos are usually formal, the recent trend in towards a personal style, careful writers can achieve this style without sacrificing clarity, grace, or precision. Next point of drafting is styles. It helps to write quickly. If you pretend that you are speaking to someone sitting across the table, you can achieve a more personal style. Showy style, too much technical jargon or complicated sentences will make you sound. Try to have a style that is cordial, straightforward, and conversational while yet being formal. And last point of drafting is tone of writing memo. Tone is neutral or positive, though occasionally complaints or may be issued in memo form. Use caution in negative situation and aware of the effect of your memo, etc. Now let us see the meaning of office order. Friends, office orders, as the term suggests, are communications of a different type. They are meant to communicate matters relating to certain rights, withdrawing rights, imposing restrictions, making posting, transfers, promotions, retrenchment, granting annual increment, withholding increment, disciplinary action, etc. Orders in writing can only be issued by superior. They are therefore clear examples of downward communication. The drafting of the order is done by the subordinate, but it is submitted to the concerned higher officer for his perusal and approval without necessary changes. Now let us see the occasions of office orders. So the first is internal transfer of employee. Second occasion of office writing to office order is any administration changes. In that, changes in the norms of promotion from seniority to merit cum seniority. Second, administration change in the norms of paid holidays. Then third occasion of writing of office order is addition temporary change given to employee in addition to one already held by the employee in absence or leave, resignation or suspension of the original employee. Next is giving information about posting of new recruit to the particular department and accounts department. Next is to inform transfer or promotion on promotion. Then next occasion is any order issued for instituting inquiry for any misconduct or misappropriation. Then next is order issued for granting of special increment to any employees. Next occasion is order issued for any changes effected. Then order for reinstating a suspended employee. And last, order issued for changes in financial norms in the organization. Now let us see the drafting of office order. So the first point is correct, short, and to be point. So office order should provide correct information. It should be short and only necessary information should be provided, only to the point. The message should be drafted. Then second is draw attention. Office orders should be drafted in the manner in which it draw attention of concerned persons who have to comply with the office order. Third drafting is specific instruction or direction. In that, care should be taken that the message is specific while drafting office orders. Next is authentic. All information instruction in office order should be authentic. Then next point is tactful to carefulness. Office orders should be drafted very careful and tactfully. It should be considered that employees are important integral part of the organization. Next is politeness or courtesy. Though office order is issued for some order, yet the language should be polite to courteous. Then next is fair attitude. While drafting office orders, one has to positive to considerate towards employee. And one point is signed by appropriate authority. Office order must be signed by competent and appropriate authority. Thank you.